You all may be seated. Mr. Brooks, it looks like you filed this case. Tell me what's going on.
Well, actually, I'm here today because I really feel like well, my counterpart here, well, my co-parent, she is intentionally working just to not even pay or help out in child support. I am a full-time father. I'm also a full-time employee, and I don't get as much money on a week-to-week basis. And I'm really looking for just a little help or support.
Welcome to Judge Bench, your destination for real courtroom drama, analysis, and truth. If you appreciate deep dives into real legal stories and the consequences they carry, make sure you subscribe. In today's episode, we're reviewing one of the most layered and emotionally charged episodes from Support Court, the case of Brooks vs. Brooks, a case that reveals how personal decisions and broken communication can spiral into legal battles that leave everyone exposed, especially the children involved. The case opens with Mr. Brooks, a full-time father and employee, expressing his frustration over the lack of financial support from his child's mother. He doesn't come off bitter or vindictive. Instead, there's a sense of weariness in his tone, as though he's been carrying a heavy load for far too long. His request is simple: some form of assistance for raising the child they both created. The tone he sets is one of responsibility. He isn't asking the court to punish Ms. Jana. He's asking for fairness
In what we created together. And it seems like she's kind of trying to run out on her responsibility in this with me. And I don't think that's fair.
What do you mean she's trying to run out on her responsibility? What do you mean by that?
Meaning trying to dodge the fact of, getting this child support, or being able to pay something to help me out. With
Have you
our
ever
child.
asked her, ma'am, you'll have your opportunity to speak. Have you ever asked her to pay child support? Or give you some money for the child?
Exactly. I've asked her to help out with some of the expenses that our child occurs throughout, even like a regular school year, or to maybe go attend different events.
What makes this case stand out immediately is how it reflects a growing issue in family court. One parent shouldering both emotional and financial burdens while the other finds ways to avoid accountability. As the judge questions Mr. Brooks further, we get more insight into the nature of his requests. He isn't asking for luxury, just help with basic childcare expenses, such as tuition and education-related needs, especially because he's chosen a path for their child that involves private schooling. What's notable here is his commitment to providing a better-than-average future for his child, even if it means stretching his own finances thin. This is not a case of one parent trying to get over on the other. It's one parent trying to survive while doing what's best for the child. When Ms. Jana responds, her tone and attitude shift the courtroom's energy. She argues that she cannot work due to an injury, something Mr. Brooks is allegedly well aware of. Her defense is that a leg injury has left her disabled, and therefore she shouldn't be required to contribute financially.
But
What type of expenses are you speaking about?
well, I'm speaking of expenses, maybe like as far as childcare, all right, tuition. Because I prefer that our child gets maybe a better education other than maybe what the public system will provide. And so I'm looking for just a little help on her behalf. This is something we created.
Okay, ma'am, what he's asking for is not unreasonable. You're not willing to do that?
Your Honor, it is unreasonable.
How is it unreasonable?
He knows I'm disabled, for one.
What is your disability?
I hurt my leg,
Okay,
and so I'm not able to work as I would like to.
But Judge Vonda B. quickly dismantles that argument by reminding her and the audience and that in Texas, disability income can still be garnished for child support. What follows next is a whirlwind of deflection, blame, and personal revelations that, quite frankly, have nothing to do with the legal matter at hand. Ms. Jana diverts the conversation by bringing up their former intimate relationship, suggesting Mr. Brooks is only taking her to court because she stopped messing with him. This is where the case begins to uncover something deeper, a history of blurred lines, emotional entanglements, and unresolved personal issues that are now affecting a legal matter involving a child. It becomes clear that for years, the co-parenting relationship was complicated by ongoing physical involvement. However, instead of this softening the tension, it underscores a major theme in many child support cases. When adults don't set healthy boundaries, The child becomes collateral damage.
Answer my question. Do you think that's right?
No, Your Honor, but he's doing this because I stopped messing with him. I go over there.
What do you
still.
mean by stop messing with
I
him?
still go over to his house and we still mess around. And I just decided to cut it off because my leg has been killing me.
I mean, it don't make no sense you bringing that up here. in
Well, you
court.
trying to bring me to court. You
Excuse
should
me.
have thought about that.
You all will address me.
Sorry, Your Honor.
You will not address each other.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
You all's rendezvous, that has nothing to do with this court proceeding and why we're here, okay?
Another shocking moment arrives when Ms. Jana casually reveals that she used to work at a strip club and injured herself on the pole, leading to her disability claim. Judge Vonda B keeps her focus, laser sharp, reminding everyone that personal lifestyle choices are irrelevant when it comes to the financial obligation of raising a child. The fact that Ms. Jana was making over $65,000 a year prior to her injury further weakens her argument. She admits the 1099 forms submitted are accurate, and the court recognizes that she was making significant income at one point, yet never voluntarily contributed to her child's needs. There's also a moment of betrayal that shifts the courtroom's mood entirely. Judge Vonda B confronts Ms. Jana with paperwork showing she has a fourth child, a fact she never disclosed to Mr. Brooks. The shock on his face is genuine. It's a reminder of just how much trust has eroded between them. Not only has she failed to support their child financially, but she's also kept major life development secret.
And how much money do you make a year?
Well, I don't make any now since I hurt my leg off the pole.
What pole are you referring to? Did you run into a pole?
No, ma'am. I was working at Dallas Gentleman's, and he knows that. And he knows that's why I hurt my leg. And so he's been helping me.
Wait a minute. What is Dallas Gentleman's?
A strip club.
So you were working in the strip club, so you got injured on that pole.
On that pole, and he knows it. And he forced me to work there.
And you're collecting a disability check from falling off the stripper pole.
Off the stripper pole.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Your
Excuse
Honor.
me.
Sorry.
What do you mean by that's why you all don't have a relationship now?
Because she's spending all her time up there working on the pole.
Including the existence of another child. This isn't just irresponsible, it shows a troubling lack of transparency in co-parenting, which further damages any chance of mutual trust or understanding. The judge calculates Ms. Jana's child support based on her current disability income of $100 to $200 a month. Taking into account her other children, her obligation comes out to $163.20 per month. In addition to that, she is ordered to repay Medicaid for the child's health insurance coverage, adding another $108 to her monthly responsibilities, bringing the total to $271.20 per month. That's not an outrageous number, Sucks. In fact, it's relatively modest considering the expenses Mr. Brooks has outlined. It shows the court's attempt to balance fairness while holding her accountable. What makes this case especially powerful is how clearly it outlines the legal principles at play. Regardless of personal hardships or job choices, parents remain financially responsible for their children.
Based on my calculations, at $1,200 a month, puts you about $14,000 or so a year. So, giving you credit for the other children you have, your child support obligation comes out to $163.20. Who covers medical insurance for the child?
Anthony is currently on Medicaid.
Medicaid, okay. So, ma'am, considering you are the one that is going to be responsible for child support, you're also going to be responsible for the health insurance. That money has to be repaid back to Medicaid. It's a state agency. You have to pay it back.
Judge Vonda B doesn't show favoritism. She applies the law consistently. When Ms. Jana protests, asking how she's supposed to pay, the judge's response is blunt but fair. Find another job. The reality is, if you can make $65,000 in one setting, you can find another path when circumstances change. One of the most telling moments is when Ms. Jana tries to argue that she gives Mr. Brooks lap dances and $20 every other week. Not only is this wildly inappropriate in court, but it reinforces just how disconnected she is from the core issue, supporting her child. Judge Vonda B quickly brings the conversation back to what matters, the child's needs. The child is not getting enough support, emotionally or financially, from one parent, and the court won't tolerate that anymore. This case is a textbook example of how courts must cut through emotion, drama, and deflection to focus on the child's welfare.
Based on what your gross and taking 9% of that, which is what you would be responsible for health insurance, it comes out to about $108. So your total monthly obligation is $271.20. That is to be paid on the first of each month, and it will be paid directly to him. Child support obligation and the Medicaid coverage. You understand, ma'am? Because you're looking very confused right now, and I'm confused as to why you haven't been giving him any money to support this child.
Because I've been giving him other things, Your Honor, and
What other type of things are you talking about that he gets from you?
Judge Vonda B's handling is masterful. She remains composed, focused, and unapologetically committed to the law. She shows compassion where it's due, but holds each party accountable based on facts, not feelings. For viewers, it's a lesson in what happens when adults prioritize personal vendettas over shared responsibility. Ultimately, Brooks versus Brooks isn't just about child support. It's about broken communication, mismatched priorities, and the legal system's role in enforcing responsibility when co-parents can't or won't get on the same page. Mr. Brooks walked into that courtroom with a simple request for help. Thanks to the court, he's walking out with at least a small measure of justice. Thanks for watching, Judge Bench. If you found this analysis valuable, informative, or just plain eye-opening, be sure to subscribe. We bring you more than just courtroom entertainment. We deliver real lessons from real cases. Until next time, stay informed and never forget, behind every child support case is a child who deserves better.